So George Nader, who is Trump's spiritual advisor, the man who helped coordinate the evangelical side to support for Donald Trump, that man has pled guilty to sexually abusing a 12-year-old girl. Bingo. But that's not the only person. George Nader, who was Donald Trump's Middle East advisor, was found guilty of sexually abusing children inside of the Mueller report and is currently spending 10 years in prison for the sexual abuse of children. Then you have people like Steve Bannon, who are connected to the whole Epstein situation. Rudy Giuliani. It is insane that we continue to tolerate this. It's insane that the Republican Party chooses to tolerate this. Donald Trump developed an addiction to sex in the 90s. But that addiction to sex was also included, apparently, underage children, because there are multiple children connected to Epstein in which Donald Trump abused, like Katie Johnson, for example. In addition to that, you're dealing with the one-stop parties, you're dealing with the fact that there are girls who are connected to the Miss Teen USA pageant who said that Trump came in and inspected them as they were changing, mid-change between clothing, in other words, being topless or naked in their changing between sessions. And now, with girls that were actually contestants connected, like Jane Doe, with the Elaine Maxwell trial on day 2. This cannot be accepted. This is not acceptable in a president. It is not. It is completely unacceptable. And Trump should be removed from office because it is an insult to the presidency. It is an insult to the United States that such a man would be able to hold office. The people who told you to continue to vote for this man are utterly disgusting. Literally, a man who was abusing 12-year-old children, who was the spiritual advisor to Donald Trump, who was telling your pastor, if you are a Republican, to support Donald Trump as he was dealing with his own sexual abuse of 12-year-old children. His Middle East approach, guided by a person who sexually abused children. Convicted. And now we know that Steve Bannon is connected to Epstein. And Trump is connected to Epstein. And RFK is connected to Epstein. Wake the hell up if you're a Republican. This man is morally unfit to hold office and is an insult to the very nature of this country. Unless, of course, this country is now just going to say, okay, let's start sexually abusing children. Because we can't say being around lots of people who sexually abuse children, having a campaign coordinated by people who sexually abuse children is acceptable. Knowing people who sexually abuse children, being connected to people who sexually traffic children. I mean, I'm not just talking Epstein, I'm also talking about Tony Lazzaro, who is the Minnesota Epstein, who is currently in jail for 20 years for sexually abusing children. All of this connected to Trump. Literally, Trump sought his spiritual advice from a person who was sexually abusing children. Why? Because there's a psychological need that we all have. That when we're doing good or bad things, that we need to believe that we are good people. We need to justify our actions. And Trump just sought out people who would justify that dark sexual fetish that guides his life, resisting it. We cannot have this. I don't care, and nor should you. Trump should be removed because he clearly has a sexual addiction to underage children and likes to surround himself with people who sexually abuse children, people who are involved in the sex trafficking and the selling of sex with underage children, Tony Lazzaro and Epstein. Wake up. Trump must be removed and impeached. Thank you. Like, share, subscribe, and debate.